Yes, in the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, there are certain conditions that must be met before FEMA provides financial assistance for flood-related damages, and in most cases, there are costs that the property owner or affected area must cover. Here are the main considerations regarding payments before FEMA assistance is provided. 1. Flood insurance deductible. For properties with NFIP flood insurance, if a property is covered by flood insurance under the NFIP, the property owner must pay a deductible before the insurance coverage kicks in. The deductible amount varies depending on the type of policy and coverage selected. The deductible is an out-of-pocket cost that must be covered by the policyholder before FEMA, through the flood insurance provider, will pay for flood damage. Standard deductibles. For NFIP policies, the standard deductible for building property can range from $1,000 to $10,000, and for contents property, it can range from $500 to $5,000, depending on the specific terms of the policy. 2. FEMA disaster assistance. When insurance is insufficient, if a property owner does not have flood insurance, or if the insurance coverage doesn't fully cover the flood damage, FEMA disaster assistance may provide additional aid. However, there are conditions. Individual assistance. FEMA's Individual Assistance (IA) program can provide financial help for those who qualify, but this is generally available only in declared disaster areas. This assistance may cover temporary housing, home repairs, and other disaster-related expenses. Proof of loss. In most cases, FEMA requires the applicant to have already applied for flood insurance, if eligible, and exhaust the coverage from their private flood policy before FEMA assistance will be given. FEMA aid will typically be a last resort after all other resources, such as insurance, have been exhausted. 3. Minimum eligibility for FEMA disaster assistance. Damage thresholds. To qualify for FEMA disaster assistance, the area affected by flooding must be officially declared a federal disaster zone by the President of the United States. This allows FEMA to step in with funding for recovery efforts. Uninsured or underinsured losses. If a homeowner has flood damage that exceeds their insurance coverage or if they don't have insurance, FEMA may provide financial assistance. However, there is often a process of verification and an application to go through to qualify. 4. Cost of flood mitigation and preparedness. Community contributions. Communities participating in the NFIP are required to adopt and enforce floodplain management regulations. They may also need to contribute to mitigation efforts, including flood prevention infrastructure. This could include upfront costs for communities to comply with FEMA's requirements for better flood risk management. Individual preparedness costs. Property owners are encouraged to take preventive actions, such as elevating buildings, installing sump pumps, etc., to reduce flood damage, and these costs would generally be borne by the property owner. Conclusion. Before FEMA steps in to provide financial assistance for flood damages, the affected property or area must often meet certain criteria, and the property owner may need to pay certain costs, such as the deductible on flood insurance. If the property owner doesn't have insurance or if the insurance doesn't cover all the damage, FEMA disaster assistance can help, but there is a process to follow, and it is typically a last resort option after other resources, like flood insurance, have been exhausted. Please watch part 1 of this video titled Flood Insurance: What You Don't Know. Also check out my video on FEMA 50% rule. For additional information, order your copy of KISS Public Claim Adjuster Study Guide at Amazon.com. Click the link below. If you find this video interesting, click the like icon and please subscribe to the channel.